What is going on, guys? My name is Kenji, welcome back to the channel. Hope it's not the first time you're watching one of my videos, but just in case it is, I'm finally a medical student and a biomedical science graduate studying at King's College London. I actually have a really interesting day for you today. I'm actually on my way to London to meet a few of my friends to practice for our upcoming practical exams, which we have in just over a week's time, which I'm super excited for as well. And I'll also be doing a bit of revision in the library for my written exams, which I have in just over a week. But my train is actually in 1 minute, so I'm gonna try my best to not miss this train. But do me a favor, sit back, relax, and enjoy the vlog, and I'll see you guys on the next shot. So I hope you guys enjoyed all of that B-roll footage that I recorded for you. It was actually really nice to be back on campus. I honestly can't remember the last time I was back physically on campus because I've been in my hospital placements for such a long time now. So it's really nice to be back in the flesh. And the reason why I had to be back on campus is because, like I said, we have our practical OSCE exams coming up in just over a week's time. So in order to actually practice our practical skills, we need all of the equipment that you can actually see in the video now. The room that we were in was completely fully kitted out with all of the equipment we need and actually recreates a hospital environment really well. So we're able to actually practice in a real simulated hospital environment, which means that practicing for our OSCE exams is made a lot easier. So the first thing that we decided to work on was our surgical scrubbing up skills. Now, as a junior doctor, at least one of the jobs that we'll be working on has to be a surgical job. So that might be obstetrics and gynecology, it might be urology, whatever it might be. And as part of that job as a junior doctor, we might actually have to work with the consultants and help them with any surgeries that they might be performing. So in order to actually practice scrubbing up and getting into our surgical gear, the first thing we decided to work on was scrubbing up. Now, another key skill that we need to be competent in as a junior doctor is placing a urinary catheter into a patient. This is essentially a thin, flexible tube that goes up the urethra into a patient's bladder and might be able to relieve the pain and pressure that a patient might experience when not being able to urinate. This is a condition that you may have heard of called urinary retention. And in order to actually practice this skill, we use these lovely plastic dummies that we have available to us in the practical center, and they actually have the same anatomy that a real patient does, and thus allowing us to perform this procedure in a safe manner. We took turns on the dummy and spent around half an hour practicing catheterization on the dummy before moving on to the next skill.
So at this point, urine would be flying out in theory.
Yeah.
So that part we should move and put under there before we catheterize. Yeah, true. Exactly.
All right. What does it? All right. I'm just gonna fake this. Please don't get any pain. And then I'll fake this. Yeah. Fated. And then I will pull quickly.
Yeah. Feel that tug.
And then place it on. Then we're done. That's it, right?
Give a thumbs up.
This is what you need to do.
Now, the final skill that we decided to practice was performing an ECG, and although this is normally a technique that the nurses help us out with, it's still really important for a doctor to be able to not only interpret but also perform an ECG just in case. And as well as that, we also finished off practicing taking blood from an artery, which you can see my boy Nasir performing. After around 3.5 hours of practicing, we got quite peckish, so we decided to go to the local Tesco just down the road from our campus, and I got my usual chocolate chip brioche rolls, and these managed to keep me going until the next break we had, which was lunchtime. Before actually taking a break for lunch, we headed to the library where we decided to practice our clinical examination skills, and what you're watching is me performing a cardiac examination on my boy Nasir, aka Karma Medic. No need to introduce him, I'm sure. And this was actually the last bit of OSCE practice we got in today. For reasons that you're just about to find out. Alright guys, I'm actually just heating up my lunch, as you can see behind me, and we've just had some really unfortunate news in the med school. We've actually just found out that our OSCE exams are actually cancelled. These exams I was actually preparing for, that we were all preparing for, for the last couple of weeks now. We found out they've actually been cancelled and rescheduled to another date that I'm not entirely sure about, which is kind of sucks because all of our exams in med school, our written is supposed to be next week, and the OSCE exam is supposed to be the week after. And after that, we were supposed to be completely done with med school and go on holiday or, have a bit of time off and then come back for our placements. It's kind of sad to hear that, unfortunately due to COVID, and unfortunately due to staff shortages in the NHS right now, they've completely rescheduled our practical exams, which means that the rest of the day is not going to be spent practicing on our practical skills like you just saw. I'm actually going to spend the rest of the day in the library with my friends practicing for our written exams, which we do have next week, and our written exams are actually still going ahead, so I still need to actually do some revision and preparation for that. So yeah, the end of med school has kind of been delayed. I was really looking forward to getting all of these exams out of the way, but unfortunately we just have to kind of go over all of this, everything we've done this morning, at another date in time. The vlog hasn't stopped here. We're still going to head back to the library and do some work. I'm going to eat my lunch, as you can see, for a couple of minutes with my friends and then get back to work. I'll see you guys in the next shot. After taking a quick break for lunch, we then headed back to the library to get back to work. Over the next couple of hours, we decided to sit together as part of a group and actually go through a bunch of past paper questions. One thing that I really love about working together with my friends is that it's so much more fun, discussing the answer, discussing the questions as part of a group, rather than sitting at home by myself going through all of these questions. When it reached about 5:30 p.m. and I started losing the will to work, I then headed into London to meet my girlfriend Caroline for some sushi for dinner. Say what's up to the vlog. You weren't expecting that, were you? Let's go. Caroline and I decided to have dinner at Yo Sushi on Oxford Street, and one of the things that I really miss about living in central London is being able to take a very quick train, ending up in Oxford Street, going for a lovely walk amongst all the scenery and all the beautiful lights, and also going to lovely restaurants like this. Having dinner with Caroline was honestly the best way to end a long and tiring day of revision, and the sushi that we had was also really enjoyable. And that was pretty much the end of the day, guys. After dinner, I got the train home, got ready for bed, and began to start the day all over again tomorrow morning, preparing for my exams once again. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and joining me on a day in my life as a final year medical student. I appreciate you guys so much. Have a nice day. Leave a thumbs up, a like, a comment. Make sure you're subscribed as well with notifications on and all that kind of jazz. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.